be a visionary with debonair, a playa from the Himalayas, iconic, not ironic, and become a night owl tonight, where like-minded members get together at the Night Owl Lounge, enjoying extra content, backstage hangouts, exclusive interviews by going to RealDealMedia.tv. Again, that's RealDealMedia.tv. Join tonight.
Tonight on Late Night Update with Dean Ryan. Well, we try to find and get to the bottom of the mysterious secrets of a not-so-dead man called Epstein. What did he know? When did he know it? And who exactly was he working for? And what does Donald Trump know? And who is he protecting? These are questions we must ask. What secret society is behind the mythical creature Epstein and even Kash Patel himself? Well, we're going to find out right here. Late Night Update. Welcome to Late Night Update. I'm your late night host, Dean Ryan, and tonight we're going to be getting into some of the Epstein secrets. Yes, the talk of the town, the talk of the DC Beltway, and definitely the conversation being had across the world. That's right. Who was Epstein? Who was he working for? What did he know? And what does he still possess? Because if you're like many of the populace, you don't believe Epstein killed himself, and you might even not believe he's dead to begin with. So we're going to get into that here tonight, because now it's coming at a time where Donald Trump is now doubling down in backing Pam Bondi, his attorney general, and even backed Dan Bongino, who now appears to be quitting. That's right. In fact, this is what Donald Trump is saying right now. What's going on with my boys and in some cases gals are all going after Attorney General Pam Bondi, who is doing a fantastic job. We're on one team, MAGA. I don't like what's happening. We have a perfect administration. The talk of the world, selfish people are trying to hurt it all over a guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. Well, there it is. And he's even gone as far as saying that for years, Epstein, over and over again, why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama, Crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan, and the losers of the criminals of the Biden administration? He's even saying his so-called friends just won't let it quit. Very bizarre, isn't it? Very strange. None of this makes sense. Why would Donald Trump not even give a tiny bit of credence to his MAGA base that wants answers? We'll get this now. Our deeply embedded EU sleuth of sorts, Forseti, deeply embedded over there in the heart of the EU. Well, I asked him the same question, and he spent some time with the who's who of the people over there in the European Union. And this is what he had to say. Let me repeat it to you because it is quite stunning. Trump will not release the files. I'm paraphrasing, because Don Jr. and Jared are mentioned in the files, as well as many members of House of Congress and judges of the Supreme Court. Can you believe it? And when I asked, does this all have to do with child prostitution, child trafficking? Well, in the case of Donald Trump, I was told the following, that in Trump's case, it doesn't have anything to do and deal with children. It's a fact that for the entire decade of the 1990s and throughout the early 2000s, Epstein was facilitating porn stars to Donald Trump for a good 15 years. Bill Clinton is definitely involved in the trafficking of children. Many members of the EU. Also, Epstein's files include other monsters like Epstein across the world, who they would all trade with each other. The word we're getting is Epstein was just a manager. This is much bigger. Over a matter of time, our very own Forseti told us that the files will leak no matter what people try to do, as it is now part of, or is part of something called Operation Monarch. Now, let me just add to this. The mention of Don Jr. and Jared Kushner is quite concerning, but let's go further on this. Jeffrey Epstein, was more than just a procurer of porn stars and children trafficking. He was coming out of the city of London. He's backed by the Mossad, who this administration protects. He's backed by MI5, City of London, and our very own CIA right here in the United States. We're talking powerful people who are in power, still in power today. If this thing comes out, you have to see that the whole system falls, including the Trump administration. Because I can't guarantee you that Don Jr. and Jared Kushner, for that fact, are just being implicated in the financial crimes and the money laundering, the tax evasions of a Jeffrey Epstein kind of forum, or the kind of assistance that he was offering the who's who of the elites at that time. What I can share with you is people like Jared Kushner are highly involved in the military-industrial complex, defense contracting firms that are making the bombs for the IDF over there in Israel to just drop on all of their neighbors, including Gaza as we see it today. But this is very troubling. Yes, it is. Now, all this is part of a greater scheme from what we're understanding from our very own Forseti, which he's described as something called Project Monarch. Let's see what this is all about. Project Monarch stems from the MKUltra era by the CIA, originally developed for training special agents, elite soldiers, even what we now know as sex kittens, to infiltrate, penetrate some of the most powerful elite circles that government in the world has ever seen. From Delta Force to the United States military and, yes, even to the Mossad of Israel, these special agents were part of covert operations, controlled aggression, even mind control, poisons such as thallium itself. The initial process begins with creating disassociation within a subject, usually occurring from the time of birth to about 6 years of age. This is primarily achieved through the use of electroshock and is at times performed even when the child is in the mother's womb. Due to the severe trauma induced through this electroshock, sexual abuse, and other methods, the mind splits off into alternate personalities from the core. Formerly referred as multiple personality disorder, it is presently recognized as dissociative identity disorder and is the basis of Monarch programming. Well, then you must ask yourselves, well, if that's happening, what about the people in charge of the very agencies that are supposed to be protecting us? In some cases, the president himself, like Kash Patel. Well, we just told you nights ago that Kash Patel has been rumored to be part of something called the Pilgrims Society, another secret society. What a shocker.
Even though Columbus served Spain for the rest of his life, he died a broken man, without honor and without reward. And though he sailed the seas until his eyes grew dim, he never knew that he touched the shores of a vast new continent, America.
The Pilgrims Society, a study of the Anglo-American establishment. Well, the Pilgrims Society is a British-American organization founded in the very mysterious year of 1902, which mission statement is to promote goodwill and fellowship between the United States and Great Britain. It has included notable members from politics, business, media, and all of the upper echelon of the acolyte societal figures. It was founded by Sir Harry Brittain. Its primary goal is to foster goodwill and peace between the United States and Great Britain. The society has included notable members over the years such as Henry Kissinger, Margaret Thatcher, Walter Cronkite, George Shultz. Typically, members of the British royal family and U.S. secretaries of state are often admitted into their circle of trust. The Pilgrim Society has also played a significant role in promoting Anglo-American relations. It was a key proponent in supporting the U.S. entry into World War I through public diplomacy, also facilitating connections between influential families and leaders from both nations. During the Cold War, the society shifted its focus to containing communism and promoting European unity. To date, the current patron of the society, who holds great thresholds of power, is King Charles III. Shocking, said nobody.
The United States officially declared independence in 1776. The United Kingdom recognized the independence of the United States by signing the Treaty of Paris on September 3, 1783. While these countries had a tense relationship for decades afterward, this treaty established the United States as a sovereign entity. At least, that's the official story. For some fringe researchers, the United States never really achieved independence, and the leaders of the US are still secretly following orders from the ruling family of the United Kingdom. Here's where it gets crazy. According to Netherlands-based researcher Joel van der Reijden, the United Kingdom continues to wield an enormous amount of influence on U.S. policymaking through several private elite organizations. Van der Reijden claims that a little-known organization called the Pilgrim Society is evidence of this undue influence.
Well, we're certainly learning a lot of truths around here. As dissatisfying, hurtful, sharp, unexpected as they might be, that's just the nature of reality. It's pure subjective fantasy to some, yet a cold, harsh clump of coal to the rest. I'll be here monitoring the situation, just like many of you will. Until next time, I'm Dean Ryan saying, always remember to stay tuned and stay awake. Good night, everybody. This fuck jacket right here at Late Night Update. Always remembering to tell you, always